So we got our 22 on the lift right now. It's got just over 1,000 miles on it. We're getting the fluids drained out of it right now because we are going to inspect the oil pan for RTV. Now, some of you have probably heard about this being a potential issue. It seems like some people have more RTV buildup in the pickup than others. The oil pan is conveniently located right here, but where it bolts to the engine block up in there is way up in there, so we actually have to get the entire turbocharger assembly out of the way. So this is definitely not the kind of job that you're gonna wanna just casually do in the garage. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but it's rather involved. So we're gonna go through the process of getting this turbocharger down so that we can inspect our RTV in the oil pan, or hopefully the lack of RTV. All right, so we've got the J pipe out of the way. We've got some of the lines disconnected up here. You gotta disconnect your feed line. You got to disconnect that coolant line right there. You have to unbolt the oil feed line, which is hard to tell from right here, but it's on the front of the timing cover. You have to pop off your recirc tube for the inlet pipe there. You have to take off your charge pipe, both connectors for the electronic wastegate and the electronic blow-off valve, your other coolant line right here, and your oil scavenge line from the oil pump, or from the oil sump. So now all we really need to do is just finish taking the manifold bolts off, and we're going to lower the turbo down, and then we're going to swing the sway bar down out of the way. And once we do that, we'll be able to take the oil pan off. All right, all the bolts are out. Tom's going to lower the turbo. Oh, hanging on by a thread there. There it is. There's your turbo assembly. Man, we should make a bigger one of those. So here's our oil pan. Now we have full access to it for the most part. Now you're gonna have to use some prying around this flange. Patience is key. You're gonna hear a creaking sound, a sucking sound, an unsticking sound. And then eventually it will begin to release around the flange. So the question is, how much RTV is going to be in there? You guys are going to get a live look, a first reaction. That's oil. Let's take a look at what we got in here. Take it over to one of the drains over here. One tiny piece right there. That is the only piece of RTV we're seeing right there. Just that tiny little piece. We're gonna go take a look at the pickup. So we're over here looking into the pickup. And as you can see, there are a couple pieces in there at the bottom there. But I'm not gonna say that that's normal or I expect that, but we've taken apart quite a few engines here, and it's not abnormal to see a little bit of RTV in the pickup. I don't feel like this is a detrimental issue, at least on this engine. However, it's going to be a good idea to get that cleaned out either way while we're in here. So these are the piece of RTV that we got out of the pickup. Really not that big. This is a 10mm socket. This will be gone in a little bit, like if you get it. But yeah, this is what we came up with. Not really overly concerning. I would say this is pretty normal, but it's good that we checked it anyway. This guy right here is what we use to mainly get it out of there. Flashlight, reach that up in there and just kind of pull them down. But it's not abnormal to see a little bit of RTV in the pickup. I have seen some cases that were worse than this from some other shops, some other people that have posted. So we're not downplaying this issue. We're not saying that it's a non-issue. We were just lucky enough with our car to only have this amount of RTV right here. So for anybody who is interested in getting this done, if you're already thinking about it, if it's already on your mind, you might as well just do it just for the peace of mind. The job does take between 2 and 3 hours because it requires removal of the turbocharger, so keep that in mind.